What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, I'm here to do a prediction. It's going to be a quick prediction because I feel like I'm a fluid boxing fan. I pay attention to the details. It is the sport of boxing. Anything can happen, and I'm well aware of that. We've seen that most recently, probably in like the Abner Mars fight. I didn't see it playing out like that. Chad Dawson was another one. I didn't see either of those guys getting knocked out in the first round. So I've been wrong before. I might be wrong with this, but it's regarding the Vitaly Klitschko Povetkin fight and my prediction. And I'm just going with logic, and I'm going to pick Klitschko. There's a variety of reasons, and I want to explore those in this video. So basically, the Klitschkos, I feel they've been on top, both brothers. They've been on top of the heavyweight division with minimal challenges. No matter who you thought would beat them or would come close, some people thought David Haye would beat a Klitschko. Some people thought Chris Arreola had a shot to beat him. But they keep proving everybody wrong and dominating the division. So as far as this Povetkin fight, I feel like Povetkin is a solid, tough competitor. He has good speed for a heavyweight, and he's going to put his best foot forward. He does have momentum because he is undefeated, but I don't think it'll be enough. And the reason I don't think it'll be enough is because when you're dealing with a fighter who's been at the top of the hill for so long, unless they completely underestimate an opponent, i.e. Lennox Lewis and Hasim Rahman, if you know anything about boxing, or if you know that fight, or if you were watching boxing, then you'll know that Lennox Lewis, I believe he was filming like Ocean's 11 or Ocean's 12. Him and Klitschko had, I forgot which Klitschko, they had a scene in that movie, and they were filming that. I heard Lennox Lewis just really didn't prepare. He didn't train properly. I think the fight was in Africa or maybe South Africa, and I heard he got to camp late, like 2 weeks prior to the fight happening, and just overall underestimated. And in the sport of boxing, especially a heavyweight division, the higher you go up in terms of division, the more deadly one punch can be. And I think Lennox Lewis paid the ultimate price. He showed that it was a fluke by later on that year fighting Hasim Rahman and knocking him out, KOing him. And I can't even say a fluke. It was not a fluke in the sense of it was a lucky punch or whatever, but we didn't get the best Lennox Lewis. He seemed very like he underestimated his opponent, and I think that's why he lost. Because in the sport of boxing, you can't have an off night. You can't underestimate these opponents. These guys train way too hard. They want what you have, especially if you're a Lennox Lewis, a Klitschko, a Mayweather, somebody who's been on top and dominating. They want what you want. They want those accolades. They want those fans. They want that TV time, all of that. So I think Povetkin is a sturdy test for the Klitschko. And if he doesn't train right, or if he underestimates him and thinks he's going to be easy work, then he may have problems on his hands. But I don't think that's the case. I watched an interview with Wladimir, and he was saying that he compares Povetkin's style to Mike Tyson. I don't really compare his style to Mike Tyson. I think Mike Tyson was more ferocious, better speed, and that kind of stuff. But either way, that's what Klitschko says of his opponent. So I don't think he's underestimating him. And just look at these pictures. My God, this man is fucking huge. He's 6'6". He just brings a ton of experience. Getting through that jab is going to be a problem. And I think he has like 81-inch arms. He's clearly taller than Povetkin. He clearly has more experience than Povetkin. He clearly has knockout power and just overall boxing ability, I guess you could say. And again, to knock off somebody who's that talented and who's been dominating for that long, it takes a really special moment from your opponent to really exploit that or whatever. And like I said, I think Klitschko trained hard based on these pictures. He looks like he's in great shape. And I'm a student of the game. I realize it's not a bodybuilding contest. It's not whoever can get the most shredded. Some people and some fighters have more punching power and they look soft, but they have all the punching power in the world. So it's not a bodybuilding competition, but some fighters are just naturally like in shape. Tim Bradley, Klitschko's naturally just a big dude. and they do have power. And both, well, not Timothy Bradley, but the Klitschkos, they have power. So again, it's impressive that a fighter looks ripped, but he shows that he can fight. That's the biggest thing. Like, it doesn't matter about just merely physique and whatever. But it's good to see an older fighter, 38, who's in this great of shape, because that, to me, it lets you know that he's still hungry. So I just really see Klitschko winning, probably by stoppage. In the later rounds, I don't want to sell a Povetkin short. He may go the distance, but I would say a late round stoppage, um, probably like round 7 or 8. That's what I want to say. 7 through 9, I would say. And I think overall, it's just because it's a different experience getting in there with the Klitschko. Like I said, when you guys or when these guys get in a fight with a person who's been dominant so long, they have to do a lot of things right. Whereas the person who's been on top, all they have to do is maintain, train, take their opponent seriously, and keep doing what they've been doing. So, like I said, guys like the Klitschko's who have been on top, guys like Mayweather, it's hard. And then you see them against the Canelos, like when Mayweather fought Canelo. Canelo had some steam. He was undefeated just the same, and he showed in that fight that he wasn't ready for a Mayweather fight, that Mayweather was clearly on another level. And I think that's what's going to happen in this fight. Klitschko's going to show why he's been a dominant force in the sport of boxing, and why he's been on top for 7 years, and show how ill experienced Povetkin really is at this level. I don't take anything away from Povetkin. I give him all the props in the world for just being courageous and taking on a fight. But I think category, like if you break everything down into a category, I think Klitschko's have everything, just in terms of the speed, or excuse me, the size advantage. They have the advantage in terms of mentally. I think just based on his size, his experience exceeds Povetkin. So again, I know it's the sport of boxing. Anything can happen, and I might be wrong, but I'm riding with Klitschko on this one. Like I said, it looks like he's training hard, and or he trained hard, and he's ready to fight, ready to rumble. He has a size advantage. He has the experience advantage. He has that jab that he loves so much, and I think it's going to be difficult for Povetkin to get on the inside, and just overall bring something to Klitschko that he hasn't seen in his 60 fights. But I could be wrong. Like I said, fighters get old. Klitschko is 38. Sometimes people become complacent when you're at the top. That is the flip side of the coin. If you're dominant for so long, maybe you don't feel there's enough challenge, and maybe you underestimate someone. So if that's the case, then I think Povetkin is a fighter that has faced the Klitschko's that is capable of exploiting that. However, I think Klitschko, being a smart fighter and Emmanuel Stewart, the late great Emmanuel Stewart protege, I think he has more respect for the game than to just completely overlook a guy who's undefeated, who has power, who has speed, and brings some steam. Again, I just don't think it's going to transition. I don't think they're in the same league, which is what this fight breaks down to. Povetkin, he can bounce back should he lose. I just don't think his experience is enough at this level. Like Povetkin has, or the Klitschko's in general, they've taken people's O's. They've stopped win streaks and that kind of stuff. Povetkin, when he fought Hasim Rahman didn't look like the same Rahman that fought Holyfield or Lennox Lewis in the first fight. He looked way past it. So it's a good marquee name on Povetkin's resume, but at the same time, I don't think it was the best Hasim Rahman that ever fought or whatever. And I'm not trying to make any excuses or take away credit from Povetkin, because he did what he had to do. I believe he stopped Rahman in the second round. But again, those are the experience. Like, you're fighting a fighter who's probably past their prime. You're getting them out of there early. How are you going to react when you have a person who's bigger than you, probably stronger than you, and they keep sticking a jab in your face? They have more experience than you, and you knocked out Rahman in the second round. That's cool. So what if you can't do that to the Klitschko's? How will you respond? And again, I've seen it so many times. It's really hard to bet against the Klitschko's. Vitaly fought Manuel Char. He was undefeated, just like Povetkin is. And Vitaly made it look like it was easy work. So I think these guys, have a lot to bring to the table. And the heavyweight division is getting shaken up. You got Deontay Wilders, you got Chris Arreola, who's reemerging. You got some names: Tyson Fury, David Haye. It looks like they're trying to get it on in February. So there's some names that can mix it up and present challenges to the Klitschkos. And if they do get old overnight, then that's going to be a different story. But with this particular fight, I'm going with the safe bet, and that's the Klitschko. Klitschko all the way, probably by late round stoppage. Let me know what you guys think of this fight. Do you want to see it? I got to even double check where it's being broadcast, if it's going to be on HBO or if I have to stream it or whatever the situation is. So if you guys know off the top of your head, leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think of this. Look how fucking huge the Klitschko looks. Wladimir looks huge, like a Goliath. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.